be places, but it appears that the Billy Joe Saunders Canelo fight could be in jeopardy. Billy Joe Saunders is threatening to pull out of the fight because basically Canelo's team basically tried to switch up the ring. Of course, Billy Joe Saunders wants a bigger ring, I guess, so he can maneuver where Canelo wants a smaller ring where he can cut Billy Joe off. You know, at the end of the day, I know people saying that Billy Joe is making excuses, but here's the thing. You know where I stand on these type of things. If you agree to it, if you agree to a certain ring and you trying to switch it up, that's not cool. And that's not cool on Canelo's part. You know, I told you I'm not here to follow no script, and I'm not here to say what everybody else want me to say. If they agreed on a certain ring size and Canelo tried to switch it up, that's not cool. Now, Billy Joe Saunders is kind of funny. He's accused Canelo of doing tricks with his glove wrapping and all that kind of stuff. Now, this is kind of funny. I've heard about this about Canelo and suspect hand wraps. Now, Billy Joe Saunders keep forgetting that he's been popped for PED as well as Canelo. But if Canelo is doing this kind of shit, then that, you know, what's up? And if Canelo is doing that kind of shit, then that make you suspicious about Canelo. Let's not try to make it look like Canelo is some kind of hero, okay? As good as a fighter Canelo is, Canelo has handicapped a lot of his opponents in fights, from trying to control the weight to, just other little things, you know. And then, of course, I heard Jamel Chalo speaking on it. Uh, oh, man. But I ain't even gonna talk about that. I just was bothered by something he said in reference to Canelo and Billy Joe Saunders, because at the end of the day, yeah, I'll leave that alone. I'll talk about that in another video. But it appears tickets go on sale for Jose Ramirez, Josh Taylor tomorrow. So hopefully I'm gonna try to grab a ticket. Hopefully they reasonable with the ticket prices. Hopefully they ain't trying to charge nothing outlandish. But I'm gonna try to go to that fight. But yeah. So my thing is, this is one of the many tricks and issues that you have with Canelo now. Because like I said, if he agreed to a if he agreed to the ring and then he tried to switch it up at the last minute, thinking Billy Joe Saunders wasn't gonna notice and thinking that Billy Joe Saunders ain't supposed to say that, then Canelo is dead wrong. And as far as the fanboys go and the nut huggers go, like I said, the hell with them too. Because how would you feel if you had something in writing in the contract, and then somebody tries to renege on the contract? You would be saying the same shit as Billy Joe Saunders. And I'm not defending Billy Joe Saunders, but right is right. I'm not one of these dudes that's gonna sit up here and make videos just to be making videos. Just like I made that video pretty much exposing Triller. If Jake Paul and Ben Askren did 1.5, why is Triller suing people trying to recoup money? Because like I said, if you did 1.5 pay-per-views, 1.5 times 50 is $75 million. So why would you be bitching about suing people if you made $75 million? So this is why I know that fight, and based off how Triller reacted, that fight flopped. Because I talked to one of my Atlanta contacts. Nobody was checking for that fight. Nobody came to that fight. I heard the attendance was bad. Jake Paul ain't no drill like they making him out to be. Because at the end of the day, he ain't fighting no real fighters. So it's all cap. It's a reason why they had it in that Mercedes-Benz Stadium. Mercedes-Benz Stadium can hold 80,000 people. For like Super Bowls, they can hold like around, they'll adjust it to where it can hold like 100,000. Okay. So the reason why they had it at that stadium, so they can have max amount of people. And they said nobody wasn't hardly at that event. So this is what I mean. People be fronting. But this is one of the many issues that you have with Canelo. Like I said, from him trying to control your weight to other little tricks that he does. Like I said, one thing about me, I'm not worried about no Canelo fans listening to this video and being mad. Who cares what they think? I do this for myself and for the people that want to hear some real objective and non-biased talk about boxing. I hold everybody accountable. I ain't finna be, I ain't finna be sucking up to Canelo because Canelo has been popped for PEDs. Yes or no? Failed 2 drug tests. Now, I do find it ironic that you have Tyson Fury speaking on fairness, and we all know that there possibly wasn't no fairness in his second fight with Deontay Wilder. Yeah, stop people. Like I said, certain people want you to follow a script on here and stuff. They want you to say what they think you should say, and you have these, you know, fanboys that come on here think you supposed to suck up to a certain fighter. Not me. You got the wrong one. And that's why certain people don't, distance themselves from me or don't like what I have to say. But I'm gonna continue to say what I have to say. Like I said, if Canelo agreed to a certain size and he trying to renege, then that's on him. As far as Jamel Charlo speaking, I'm gonna just say it. Jamel Charlo need to quit saying that N word so much. You know, talking about that nigga Canelo and that nigga C, and that's why these white boys and these non-blacks be thinking they could say that word because they hear them guys referring to them as niggas and all that stuff. I don't like that shit. And I done made it very clear. If you ain't black, don't say that N-word around me. And don't refer to me as your nigga because I'm not your nigga. And if you do it, you gonna get checked. Bad. Like I said. That's why these white boys and these Mexicans and these Asians be thinking they could say that word. Because of them dudes. Like I said, I like them as fighters, but man, just like when he had that press conference with Tony Harrison, him and Tony Harrison, just spewing the N word like it was going out of style. Yeah, they got to control that stuff. But I'm making it clear to you non-blacks, I ain't your nigga. And especially to you white people, I ain't your nigga. So don't call me no nigga because it might be a serious problem. I don't play that shit. But yeah, um, Billy Joe Saunders, he have every right to express concerns because if it's like Canelo trying to get over on him. Why is it that we supposed to let stuff slide as journalists and media because we may not like a person? I'm just asking that question. So if you didn't heard tricks about, like I said so far about Canelo's hand wraps, this is stuff this is not nothing new. This is not nothing new. Phantom, no, Floyd didn't. It was gloves. Okay. If they had a contract and they agreed to a certain size, Canelo needs to abide by that. So don't come on here with that bullshit, dude. Billy Joe Saunders says otherwise. I just said, see, you missed the whole purpose of the video. I said if it's contracted that they agreed to a certain size and Canelo tried to switch it up, Canelo is in violation of the contract. We ain't talking about Floyd. We talking about Canelo. Stick to the fucking subject or bounce. We ain't talking about no Floyd. Okay? We talking about Canelo. Stick to the fucking subject or bounce. Matter of fact, yeah, I ain't got time for this. So now, as I was saying, let's stop pretending that Canelo, like I said, don't have a history of doing shady shit. Real talk. Both of these dudes, both of these dudes then got popped. We already know about Billy Joe Saunders. We know Tyson Fury, recreational drugs and drugs related to enhancing your performance. So Billy Joe Saunders is not a saint in this situation. But all I'm saying is if they agreed to a certain size and Canelo tried to switch it up, then Canelo is in breach of contract. And then Billy Joe Saunders has complained about walking in locker rooms and Canelo's gloves are already, ready to go and his hands are already wrapped. And this is what I keep telling you. Now, all of a sudden, now that Billy Joe Saunders has brought up uh, so-called illegal hand wraps, why was everybody making it look like it was next to impossible for Tyson Fury? And Billy Joe Saunders need to bring that up because he wasn't very vocal about the whole glove gate thing. Maybe he knows something. Keep in mind, you wouldn't know much about, you know, hand wrapping tricks unless you've done it yourself, and you wouldn't be an expert on it unless you have tampered with gloves yourself. I told you guys a long time ago, the boxing commission can't catch everything. I don't think I've told you guys that boxing commissions, they don't know what to look for. Most of those dudes, this is just real talk, you guys. Most of those boxing commission guys and girls are not experts on boxing. They've never boxed before. They've never trained. They never like really understood how hand wraps go. It's easy to slip something in somebody's wraps. Like I keep saying, if it was so easy to catch uh people putting stuff in their hand wraps, how come Margarito didn't get caught to Nassim Richardson spotted what he was doing? His gloves. How come Virgil Hunter was the only one that pointed out to Miguel Kessler that his gloves were stacked? And then after Virgil Hunter pointed it out, the California State Boxing Commission then made Kessler rewrap his gloves. So like I told y'all, don't listen to these dudes that sit up here that ain't never been in a boxing ring before in their life. I actually, when I go in those rings and stuff, go to those boxing matches, when I go to those locker rooms, when I go to those gyms, I watch carefully and I ask questions. For real. It's easy to do. It's not like I want you to understand something. This isn't about like bashing Canelo. This is about trying to, just explain to y'all that it can be done. It can be done. Now here you have in 2021, Billy Joe Saunders is accused and putting those to the hand wrappings. So you had these people talking all this shit. Oh, it's impossible. It's impossible for Tyson Fury to slip something in his gloves. By Billy Joe Saunders pointing that out by Canelo, he just further implicated and made people more suspicious of Tyson Fury. Now you really should be suspicious of Tyson Fury now. If Billy Joe Saunders saying Canelo can do it in a fight that's going to happen this Saturday, what makes you think that Tyson Fury didn't do nothing? So this further, like I said, implicates Tyson Fury. Now we really should be suspicious of Tyson Fury. What Billy Joe Sanders just did, whether he know it, he pretty much dry snitched on Tyson Fury. You catch my drift, y'all? I told you this channel for intelligent boxing fans, not emotional boxing fans. I have no horse in the race. I don't. But I'm just trying to tell y'all. Y'all need to realize what Billy Joe Saunders just did. This is 2021. Tyson Fury versus Deontay Wilder was 2020. By him saying that Canelo could possibly try to do it on Saturday, just goes to show you that you can tamper with your gloves. You can tamper with your hand wraps. He the one said that. But see, now people ain't now people a little quiet now that the white man did said it. But when Deontay Wilder said it, they just wanted to portray him as, he just a sword, he just a nigga that just couldn't take his L. Well, the fight hasn't even started yet. Now, Billy Joe Saunders said that it may be worked out. Okay. Like I said before, what didn't Canelo put all these stipulations with Sergey Kovalev. So let's not make it look like Canelo don't have a history of weight pimping you. Okay? Then in certain fights, he had more power than he usually has. Billy Joe Saunders says that he does that with certain fights. Okay? I guess his big fight. So I guess he trying to put that out that this is a big fight. Because keep in mind, Canelo fought Daniel Jacobs, and he didn't remotely hurt Daniel Jacobs in that fight. He fought Miguel Cotto. He hit Miguel Cotto flush. He didn't remotely hurt Miguel Cotto. He didn't remotely hurt Sugar Shane Mosley. But then he goes up to 170, 175, but he could hurt Sergey Kovalev. He throws 3 punches, Sergey Kovalev folds, and then the fight is over. And that's why people thought that fight was rigged. Then the other dude that he fought, Yildirim, he just laid down. He just said, you know what, the hell with it. And then the dude before that Canelo fought, he dropped him, but he couldn't stop him. So you do have to put 2 and 2 together. You got to be like, okay, well, Canelo has certain power for this fight, but then he doesn't have certain power for that fight. Now, he would probably try to do that. If he's doing that shit, he'd probably try to do that against Charlo, or he might try to do that against Caleb Plant, or he might try to do that against David Benavidez. But for people that's trying to pretend like there's not something in the water with Canelo, just stop it. And people saying, "Oh, Billy Joe Saunders is just crying." Well, like I said, I don't have no horse in the race. I'm not team Canelo, and I'm not team Billy Joe Saunders. So what do I have to win or gain by putting this video out? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Sugar Shane Mosley was 40, but you didn't do no damage to Sugar Shane Mosley. That's all I'm saying. He never remotely hurt Sugar Shane Mosley in that fight. Didn't hurt Cotto. But then all of a sudden you can, Caleb Smith, you can hurt Caleb Smith. But then he couldn't finish Caleb Smith. Daniel Jacobs was never hurt in that fight. If you hit hard, you hit hard. And keep in mind, Daniel Jacobs has been knocked out before. So how come Canelo couldn't knock out Daniel Jacobs? Couldn't really knock out Triple G in 2 fights. Y'all have to put 2 and 2 together. Y'all have to put 2 and 2 together. Y'all have to figure this out. This is something that needs to be talked about. Because see, now, like I said, now that the white man then brought it up, now all of a sudden, I don't see Billy Joe Saunders fans telling him to be quiet. Now you got Tyson Fury red-handed on video with his gloves altered versus in a Christian Hammer fight. Okay, I think so. The irony and the hypocrisy that's going on just among the boxers, the boxing fans. I'm just keeping it real, y'all. That's the problem with me. People don't like to hear the truth. Like I said, I think Canelo is a good fighter, but Canelo, let's just face the fact, Canelo do be trying to get advantages over people. Now, hopefully the fight hopefully the fight happens. John Ryder said he willing to step in, but we'll just have to see. But yeah, I just wanted to put this quick video out. So thank you for tapping in. I'll be back later.